Boom! The moment David hugged his poor mother, holding a black pot in his hands, everything changed. His mother screamed loudly, her eyes wide, her head shaking as she tore her clothes and ran out of his mansion, shouting like a mad woman. David stood behind her, laughing wickedly, the black pot still in his hands, watching his old mother roll in the dust and scream in pain as the course of his new wealth began. Once upon a time, in a small quiet village, there lived a young man named David and his poor old mother, Mama Grace. They had nothing but love for each other. Their house was made of mud, their clothes were old, and some days they ate only once. Every morning, Mama Grace would kneel down under the mango tree beside their hut and pray, "Dear God, please bless my son David. Let him make it in life so he can lift me out of this suffering." David loved his mother too, but deep inside, he was tired of being poor. One afternoon, as David sat by the roadside thinking about life, a shining black car stopped near him. Out stepped a rich-looking man in golden chains and dark glasses. It was Mike, David's old school friend. "David," Mike shouted, hugging him. "Is this where you still live?" David smiled shyly. "My brother, life is hard. You look good. Tell me your secrets." Mike laughed. "It's simple. I joined a strong group that made me rich. I can connect you too, if you are ready. But there is a price." David's eyes widened. "What price?" Mike whispered. "You will have to do something for the group, something painful." That night, David could not sleep. He kept thinking about the words. "You will be rich." His heart burned for wealth. After some days, he followed Mike to the city. They took him to a dark old building. Inside were men dressed in red and black, with candles burning and skulls on the floor. The leader spoke slowly. "David, you want riches?" "Yes, sir," David said, shaking. "Then you must make your mother mad. Once she loses her mind, wealth will find you. If you agree, take this black pot and never let her step into your house." David's heart jumped. "My mother? But she loves me." The man smiled. "Then stay poor forever." Greed won. David took the black pot, signed the oath, and left the place trembling. Within days, money began to flow. Cars, gold, mansions, everything he ever dreamed of came to him quickly. He laughed and said, "Mama will never suffer again, but she must never touch this pot." Far away in the village, Mama Grace danced every day, telling everyone, "My son is rich. My God has answered me. He will soon come and take me to the city." She didn't know the wealth that made her son rich would soon make her mad. One sunny morning, a shiny black car stopped in front of Mama Grace's small mud house. The driver stepped out and said, "Mama Grace, your son David sent me. He wants you to come to the city." Mama Grace screamed in joy. "Oh my God, finally, my son has remembered me." She danced, sang, and told all her neighbors, "My son is now a big man. I will live in the city. I will wear fine clothes. I will eat good food." She packed her small bag, her old wrapper, her Bible, and the picture of David when he was young, and entered the car with a big smile. All through the journey, she prayed and smiled, dreaming of her new life. When the car stopped, she looked out and saw a mighty mansion with white walls, flowers, and big iron gates. She gasped, "Jesus! So this is my son's house. My son is truly blessed." The gate opened and there stood David, dressed in white. He was holding a black pot in his hands. "Mama," he shouted and ran towards her. Mama Grace smiled, her eyes full of tears. "My son, my own David, you have made it. But what is that pot you are holding?" David smiled coldly. "Oh, Mama, It's just a decoration, something I keep for good luck. Mama Grace laughed and said, my son, I thank God for you. She stretched her hands to hug him. The moment David hugged his mother, something strange happened. Mama Grace's smile disappeared. Her eyes rolled up. She screamed loudly, threw her bag away and started shaking. Mama, what's wrong with you? David asked, pretending to be surprised. But deep down, he knew what was happening. Mama Grace fell to the ground, tearing her clothes. She cried and shouted, fire! Leave me alone! Don't burn me! She ran out of the compound, barefoot, screaming and pulling her hair. David stood behind her, laughing wickedly, still holding the black pot in his hands. From that day, Mama Grace began to roam the streets, mad and dirty. She slept under bridges, ate from the dustbins, and shouted her son's name every night. David, my son, don't forget me. But David never came. He was too busy showing off his wealth, buying new cars, hosting parties, and laughing with friends. People called him the city lion, but his heart was full of darkness. Sometimes, when he sat alone in his big mansion, he would hear his mother's voice echo in his ears. David, my son. He would cover his ears and laugh loudly, trying to forget her cries. But the course had already started to move slowly towards him, and his end was near. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. David's mother, Mama Grace, kept wandering the streets, dirty and barefoot, her hair rough and her eyes empty. Sometimes she slept beside dustbins, sometimes under trees, crying and calling her son's name in the night. One afternoon, as she lay weak by the roadside, a man of God was passing by. He stopped, looked at her, and said, this woman is not mad, she is under a curse. He called his church members and they carried Mama Grace to the church. For 7 days and 7 nights, they prayed and fasted for her. On the 7th night, the man of God poured oil on her head and shouted, let the curse return to the sender. Immediately, Mama Grace screamed, fell to the ground and became calm. She opened her eyes and asked softly, where am I? The madness was gone. She was free. But that same night, in the city, David started laughing alone in his mansion. He tore his clothes, broke his mirrors, and ran into the streets shouting like a madman. People shouted, the rich man has gone mad. The rich man has gone mad. He ran and ran until he disappeared into the forest of an unknown village. Nobody ever saw him again. Mama Grace later returned to the mansion. The servants saw her and shouted, Madam is back. She entered her son's mansion quietly, sat on his golden chair, and said, this is the fruit of my tears. I will live here now without him, without fear. From that day, Mama Grace lived well, dressed well and ate well. She became fresh and beautiful, while her son wandered mad in the forest forever. Moral lessons. Greed leads to destruction. Quick money comes with heavy pain. 2. A mother's tears never go in vain. Heaven always hears them. 3. Evil wealth never lasts. What is gotten through blood will end in shame. 4. Contentment brings peace. Wait for God's time. It never fails. Dear lovely viewers, thank you for watching this touching story. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more emotional and moral stories that teach real life lessons. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next powerful story. Stay with us. Every story here carries a lesson that can change a life. God bless you for supporting this channel.